back and looked at the film, some of those plays late, whether it was Max knocking it out, Buzo hitting the three, the offensive rebound from Omar, and then making the free throws, the push-up three, I think, when it was kind of going as bad as it was, to be able to make some key plays and win that game, how impressive was that?
Yeah, when I look back on it, it was even more impressive because it was dire straits if we don't get – and that was such a winning play on so many levels. Max punches that ball out. Buzo catches it and doesn't panic and just shoot. He throws it to Roddy. Roddy doesn't panic. He punches and gives Buzo a setup gives him the perfectly contested shot, that's what he's best at. And I mean, huge play. And without those guys, it's the equanimity in those moments, the being able to calm against the storm, and just that defines winning plays, and that defines the winning guys that I have in that locker room, and that's why you're able to, because we played probably 32 really good minutes. They played those 8 minutes. I went back possession by possession, and because you always you had mentioned the zone. Was it the zone? Well, was it it was us really, and we control what we control. Started with our defense, then we give them a couple turnovers. One of them was a run-out turnover, so it really was. And then we got open shots against that zone, really. Those threes we got were open, but then we turned down some open ones and turned it over. And so it did disrupt us, but it wasn't that. It was really our mentality. And then we let our guard down defensively. And, the line is razor thin between being a good defensive team and not. It's razor thin. You can't screw things up. And, we gave them a few of those. But like I said, it all goes back to, that's why we write the most important thing on the board is accomplish the mission. You go there to accomplish the mission. We're not, this day and age you get criticized for how you win or how many you win by and this and that. You control what you can control and find a way to win. And we would have had a hard time to a man living with that one had we given it away after we played, because we played hard. We might not have played perfect, but we played hard for most of that game. I mean, those guys laid it out there. We didn't sleepwalk. We didn't succumb to human nature as far as the environment we're playing in, looking ahead. None of that. We played hard, and we knew Fresno State had talent. But bottom line, we're proud of the way those guys finished, and that's that's the difference between having a good season and a great season is you can find a way to win those, and that's not easy.
You've had quite a few of those games like that.
Yeah.
I think on the CBS broadcast, I think they made a note that you guys had the third most 10 or single-digit wins in the country. Just what's it say about this team? Is that kind of the mark of a tough team?
It really is.
Would you want a few more?
No, I'd want every game to be by 20, and my heart rate never goes up above 80, and but that's the fictional field that I get to run slow motion in. That doesn't really exist in coaching and competition, especially when there's this many good teams. And we're not rolling out there every night and have the 10 best players on the court. We're not. We're better than the sum of our parts, and that's why we're a great team, and we play hard and together and no agendas, all those things, and we got winners that find a way.
Would you say this is the most mentally tough team you've had to be able to do that?
Well, we've had some tough ones. I mean, think about 2 years ago how many times we did that too. Last year we did. I mean, but there's carryover of personnel. So, yeah, that's. Speaking of that, anybody see a Booze dunk? I think he's posted it 10 times. It's great. It's one of the greatest ones I've ever seen. I mean, yeah. You talk about rebound. If he gets a high grade in the rebound effort, and he knows we're proud of him for that one. That's. Yeah, the text exchange we've had with him are just so a boo.
You were kind of breaking down that last play. Max punched it out. Roddy makes a nice little kick, driving kick to Buzo. Buzo just missed the shot before that.
Right.
And I was talking with him the other day. Says those are the moments you just gotta want, right? So just to mentally bounce back from a miss, want it again, and to hit it. What does that mean?
Yeah, he's just it's so tough. That's a toughness, and but that's the experience too. You go through stuff and you learn about how to handle these moments, and the more of them you're in, the more teachable they are, and the more you can handle them, a little more even keeled. And we've been in a lot of them, and so I think that helps these guys understand that.
Completely new coaching staff at Utah State, completely
Yeah.
new roster at Utah State. So just starting from the basics, why are they something in 2 or whatever for the season? And what did they do well? Why are they in the position they're in?
Well, it started with who they hired and then the staff he hired. And, Danny knows what he's doing, has done an amazing job. And, he walked in a room where he had 0 points returning. And for him to put this team together the right way with the right guys that fit together is hard, really hard. And, they found their identity and established their identity, and they've just gotten better and better and better and better as the year went on. And it's a pretty remarkable story of what he's done there.
So what is their identity? What
Well,
do
I
they
think
do
they have a lot of things in common with us. First of all, they got great players. Secondly, they've got a guy that's putting up amazing numbers and that has been a go-to guy that can make plays in the biggest moments, and they've won close games, and they've won with their defense, and they've won with their toughness. A lot of the things that you'd say when you talk about our team. So it's going to be 2 teams that have a lot of similarities, I think. And it's always, when you watch teams on film, you always get a little different feel when you get to watch them in person. And I think that's what we'll see when we see these 2 teams clashing.
Their leading scorer, Greg Osorbo, I think I'm saying that right. What does he do well, and what's he going to take to defend him, shut him down?
He's had a monster year, amazing year, and he just does, he does it on so many different ways, and, he's great at getting fouls, getting to the free throw line, getting a lot of points there. He's a great rebounder, terrific hands, and a lot of different ways to score, and just a terrific player. I mean, we're going to have our hands full trying to slow him down.
This will be the 3rd quad 1 opponent that you guys have hosted already this year. Only, 250 tickets are still out.
Oh, good.
What do you kind of anticipate, and how much do you guys need the home crowd if another quad 1 team coming in?
Yeah, let's go 250 over. Yeah, let's squeeze them in. Let's sell some dots to stand on the, out in the foyers. Let's load this place up and make the fire marshal have to complain. And it's what you want. It's what these guys play for. It's what why you compete for league titles, the drama of that, and the excitement of that. And our guys have put themselves in a great position to earn the right to have this game.
How important has Buzo's consistency been? Ever since you returned from that East Coast trip, putting double digits up every night. Other guys, Max has had his off nights. Tyson has had his off nights. It just seems like he produces every night. Just how huge has that been?
Yeah, and the good thing about him, he's gotten to be such a good player that maybe on his off nights he's still putting up good numbers. And then when he really goes, they're huge numbers. But yeah, to have, and that's that's why you're a staple out on the floor, is because when you can show that there's going to be a consistency to it, and we know that's what great players do. And that's when you take young players, that's what you're trying to get them to do. So we know what we're going to get every night. Doesn't mean you're going to get, you might go 0 for 10, but we know the effort, the energy, the shots you're going to take, the consistency to greatness that you're going to have, and the consistency to your approach. And that's what we train these guys, from young players to more experienced players, because you think back to his start here, and it wasn't that right away. I mean, he's grown as a player, and as a and usually the growth is 90% mental.
As a coach, how awesome is it to watch that?
No, that's what you want, no doubt, and to see him the way he enjoys it too, and the way he is with his teammates, and that's what's special about this whole group. They just love, when you watch these games around the country, there's a lot of teams that maybe look like they're not having that much fun, and our guys enjoy each other, play for each other, and they look like they're loving hooping. And that's pretty cool.
You came out last week saying that the fans should really be, thankful for Cam and what he's done and
Yeah.
what he's had to go through and overcome. And you know, the last 2 games he's come out and he's hit a 3 both times, and he's doing some other things, and it feels like he's, I guess, comfortable with the role he's at now and the minutes and how he's being used, and just how, and what he's battling through. I guess, what's it been like to kind of see him these last couple of games kind of find a spot that seems like it's fitting everybody?
It's huge because, you know, there's always a lot of pressure on these guys. You know, he wanted to come here and put up 20 and 10, and he's that kind of scorer. And so to understand you still have huge value, and this is going to make you a better player. He's getting better at things that he wasn't ever asked to do maybe. When you're averaging 25 and 14 or whatever he was as a D2 All-American, that probably were like, okay, just don't get a foul trouble and rest on defense because you're going to be at 40 tonight. And, but for him to have a career after this in basketball, he develops the stuff he's developing now. It's going to bode well for him. But it's just freed him, and he's taken such pride in being such a great team guy, and you know he's saved us in the last couple of games, and he's playing better and better, and I think he's still scratching the surface of what he could do.
You kind of were painting the picture every time, like his shot being different now because of the shoulder. Not to say that he's not a threat, but I mean people just kind of thought he could come here and do his rebounding and play defense and help out when he can. But I think he's 1 for 1 from 3 each of the last 2 games. Now, is he still a threat out there?
Well, I was tricking everybody on that. I was the verbal fake. Yes. So no, he can make them, no doubt. You know, it just looks a little different than what it, you know. And now he's repped it to hand-eye it, and he can do that.
I was gonna ask you that. Like, has he almost had to like learn to reshoot?
You adapt.
But he's got
Yeah, your body adapts and your mind, but it takes reps and time to adapt to that, no doubt.
His headiness to it, his passing, and
Yes.
pump fake, and some of the things he can do. I mean, is he just like kind of like Max in that sense? He's just a basketball. Like he just when he's out there on the court, his IQ seems like it's very high.
That's exactly, and that's what we're doubling down on. Like, mentor these other guys, coach them, be a player coach, and he's embraced that role in a lot of things, and because he's played this position a lot longer than Omar has, and so he's helping Omar, and I hear him during the games talking to him about when he sees things, and because he does. You can't be a great passer if you don't have a great feeling, don't see the game like he does.
Is there anything special about Boise State versus Utah State from your perspective? It feels like from the fans, both sides, they kind of treat this one differently.
I don't know. I mean, it's always been, it's because they were in the WAC together, maybe. There was always a rivalry. For me, I just head down, just go. It seems like they really like Max and have an appreciation for him, and I think that might make it special in some ways for him. And but it's always been their crowd is amazing, and they, it's one of the most amazing college environments because of what they do there. So it creates a little rivalry and that kind of thing.
Seems like Max has kind of he feeds off that though, because he was on some podcast and then those fans came in there and were saying stuff to him, and I know it just seems like that these 2 games against them is one he has kind of been looking forward to.
Yeah, well, he's just pretty authentic. He just says what he's like some of the stuff he says. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, that's what competitors love, that kind of stuff. They all do.
11 teams in the league. That means every time there's a game, somebody's coming off a bye. How much of an advantage really is it?
I think this time of year it feels like that but it is what it is. We don't make a big deal of it, and just it's a hand you're dealt. You just go play. But yeah, all these emotional games, one after another. You've seen it all around where some teams, if you're not 100% ready, you get beat bad, whether you're home or road or whatever. And it's hard to play emotional game after emotional game after emotional game, and that's what a lot of teams. That's why you see some up and down scores of like, whoa, look at what they did, and
I know you have bigger things to worry about when you're coaching and stuff, but the fact that this game's not on TV, and you had a Colorado State game that wasn't on TV. I mean, just in terms of profile in this league and these kind of games that could help from a national perspective, is there anything in terms of the TV? In football, they don't announce the tip time until 2 weeks before the game, so they can pick the best games for TV. I don't know if that's.
I don't know why they don't do that in basketball.
Thoughts on this game not being on TV tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know why they don't do that as much in basketball. Have a little more flexibility there. That's a good question. I think everyone underestimated Utah State's value of what this game. I mean, if you would have obviously, if you would have told them, in September and October that this is gonna be for first place,
Yeah.
it would be different. But they undervalued that team and, but I have nothing to do with any of that, so I just did, whatever's in front of us.
Going back to the weightless game carries, I randomly saw that someone mentioned it as the Roddy Anderson revenge game. Do you know if there means anyone to him?
I don't know. That's not, that's all fan stuff that I don't, why would it be revenge?
I don't know, maybe they didn't offer him or something,
Yeah.
or I don't know.
No, they offer, that was not it. That's a play on the last deal is all it is. All right, thanks, I gotta run, guys.